Hello. I'm Ian from Kōjō Communication Academy, and in this video, I'll be showing you how to use our Versant Pro Trainer app to practice Part E, Passage Summaries. I'll be going through a full practice set, as well as sharing a few tips to help you improve. Let's go ahead and get started. So our application has a wide range of practice sets to use. Today, let's use the Challenges Set 1. As a reminder, this section is all about retelling passages. What you'll be doing is listening to two passages, around 20 to 30 seconds each, then retelling as much as you can on each passage. Now, this isn't like Part B, where you're being scored on how accurate one-to-one every word you say is. You can change words. You can remove some details in the story in your 30-second response, but you still need to have accuracy. The key components you should include are 1. The characters. You should be able to answer who is the story about and be specific as possible. Don't just say a man or a child or a woman. Say Fred, a university student, or Sarah, a retired woman. This will help give more specificity and make your story more clear. The second element is the setting. Where and when does it happen? Location and timing will help paint a clear picture and help show that understanding of the passage. Third, actions. What happens? Beyond what happens, you should also use sequencing words like first, after that, then, but, however, finally, etc., to connect the events naturally, like a fluent speaker would. And finally, the last element you should include is the outcome. How does the passage end? Share the result, the final feeling, the reaction, and try to use natural concluding phrases as you do so. Let's go ahead and start, and you'll see what I mean.
James was preparing for an important presentation at work. He had stayed up late the night before practicing and reviewing his slides. But when he arrived at the office, he realized he had left his USB drive at home. He started to panic, but then remembered he had emailed a backup version to himself. He quickly logged into his email, downloaded the file, and managed to start the presentation on time. In the end, everything went smoothly, and his manager praised him for his clear and confident delivery.
All right, so hopefully you too are able to pay attention to the characters, the setting, the actions, and the outcome. This is, however, a practice set. So if you need to, you can listen up to 2 more times. The idea is that you're practicing for the Versant test, however. So answering on the first listen will give you a much more accurate expectation and assessment of what your performance in the real Versant test would be like. Let's move forward and share our answer. So again, I'm trying to share the characters, the setting, the actions, and the outcome. Let's go ahead. James was working very hard on his presentation for work. He stayed up very late practicing and reviewing. But when he went to the office, he realized he forgot his USB at home. He started to worry, but remembered he had an email backup. He quickly logged into his email, grabbed the backup, and started the presentation on time. In the end, everything went well, and his manager praised him for his clear and confident delivery. As a reminder, you do only have 30 seconds to respond. Any longer than that, and it will be cut off. Do your best to share the information within 30 seconds. Moving on to the second passage.
Daisy was working on her final university paper, which was due the next day. She had been typing for hours when suddenly her laptop froze and wouldn't restart. She was terrified, thinking she had lost all her work. After a few deep breaths, she took the laptop to a nearby repair shop. The technician was able to recover the file from the hard drive. Daisy finished editing her paper on a friend's computer and submitted it just in time. She was exhausted, but incredibly relieved.
All right. So, key details, characters. This story is about Daisy. She's a university student. Setting. She's at her home. She also goes to a repair shop. And when is this? This is during exam season, during her final university exams. Actions. What is she doing? She's working on her final paper. She's typing and her laptop freezes. She goes to a repair shop. She recovers the file and uses a friend's computer to finish. Outcome. She's able to submit her paper and she no longer feels stressed, but she is very tired. Let's put all of these together and create a retelling of this passage. Daisy was working on her final paper for university and had been typing for hours when all of a sudden her laptop stopped working and would not restart. She was stressed, thinking she lost everything, but she took her laptop to a nearby repair shop and the technician was able to recover her file. Daisy finished editing her paper on a friend's computer and submitted it just in time. She was tired, but very relieved. So again, you need to do your best to include details of the characters, the setting, when and where, ideally, the actions, and the outcome of each passage. Let's submit my answers for review, and we'll see how we did. All right, so it looks like I was able to get 5 out of 5, and I got 10 out of 10 possible points. On this screen, I'll be seeing a score out of 5 for each section, and I'll also be able to see the original passage and listen to it again if I want to review. I can also see suggestions for the key details to include. Here for characters, we can see James and his manager for the first passage, setting being his office, and the morning of an important work presentation. The key actions highlighted here are that James forgot his USB, but remembered he had emailed a backup. He downloaded the file and gave a presentation. And so the outcome is that the presentation went well, and his manager praised him for his performance. Underneath, I can listen to my response, and I can see my transcribed response. This is helpful because if I feel my response was different, I can listen, and I can see where a strange pronunciation may have caused a misunderstanding. Afterwards, I see a very detailed analysis, including whether or not I included all the main ideas, whether or not my story was structured, if my vocabulary was appropriate and at a high enough level, if my delivery, my fluency, was smooth, and if I used full sentences, my grammar and vocabulary being used, the naturalness of that, and my response length, which helps hint at the detail I was able to provide. If there are any suggestions for improvement, those will be given to me right here. And it's important to pay close attention to this section to make sure that you're doing your best to improve in the future. If you found this helpful, please consider subscribing to the Versant Pro Trainer. It's just 500 yen for the first month with promo code Kojo 2025. We also make use of Stripe for all of our payments. It's a trusted global payment platform used by companies like Amazon and Google. Your payment is securely encrypted and never stored on our servers. Stripe also complies with international security standards to ensure a safe, seamless checkout. Do consider checking out our coaching sessions. They're a great way to get personalized feedback and accelerate your progress. We have a wide variety of coaching options to best fit your needs, even a 3,000 yen trial coaching session. So thank you again for watching, and good luck with your training.